All right, Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory, and fear to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that's striving for salvation during this electrifying, exciting times. And to the few sisters that's tuning in and trying their best to be sincere and learn this truth, I say Shalom. So I want to do this video because this has been brewing up and about this whole situation with this import export thing going on in the Pacific out here on the west when it comes to these ships are being at bay or they're idled. You know, the anchor's down and they're waiting. They're not docking so they can unload the import export and the ship containers so they can get out all the cargo to come on land and the truck to get to the trucks, to get to the warehouses, to get to where the consumers can get it. So I'm gonna read this article and then we'll go into it from there. This is this is from the news article was posted, I believe, on a local app I have. It's called I forget the name of the app, but it's a local news, so it's basically all in any type of news website you go on is reporting on this. It says the director of one of the largest ports in the U.S. warns the shipping industry is in crisis mode as 66 cargo ships float off the California shores. So this is based off of Long Beach and also L.A. So it says Executive Director and Port of Long Beach Mario Cordero said the industry is in a crisis mode. In September, backlog at the ports in Los Angeles and Long Beach broke multiple records. The Port of Long Beach is working towards 24/7 operation hours, but it might not be enough to combat the issue. A historic backlog of cargo ships in Southern California has left the supply chain and shipping industry is in crisis. Mario Cordero, the executive director of the Port of Long Beach, warned this week. Cordero, who oversees one of the busiest ports in the country, advised people to start holiday shopping as soon as possible due to the disruption in the supply chain. So basically saying start ordering your stuff now if you want to get it by the holiday season. And that's at least 2 months away. So they're saying start doing your shopping now. Start ordering supplies online or start going out to the malls and getting stuff now, because as they're not going to be able to be supplying the stores with supplies. The port will move about 20 million containers this year, more than ever before. Cordero told Fox Business consumers will definitely feel the pinch as companies across the board, from raw materials to durable goods to electronics, furniture, and auto parts, have been hit with the shortage and delay. The supply chain is definitely disrupted and has been for some time. Cordero told the outlet the situation is a crisis mode. Earlier this month, ports in Los Angeles and Long Beach broke multiple records for the number of ships in the location, as well as the number of cargo ships waiting to dock. Since the number of vessels have slightly trended downwards, but the ports maintain unprecedented levels of congestion. On Tuesday, the port housed 144,000 ships. All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, including 66 container ships waiting off the shore at anchor or in drift areas. Now I want to touch on this 144 ships. That's the number, 144,000, or what do we all of us that's in this faith are numbered amongst that number, the elect. But it's ironic that this is biblical prophecy, and it happens to be 144 ships. That's the Lord's work, man. This is the Most High. This is stuff for us that's in the truth. These are jewels and gems that the Most High put forth that we could see. That's a sign. That symbolizes the Most High saying, "Look, things are happening. The Lord's gonna be coming back soon. This thing about to pop. It's about to crack." And that's that right there. That's sweetness to us that's in the faith. So we know who's doing this. It says includes 66 container ships waiting off the shore at anchor or in drift areas, according to data from the Marine Exchange of Southern California. Before the pandemic, the ports typically saw an average of 0 to 1 ship waiting to dock, but now the ships wait weeks to unload. Like I was saying a second ago, that this is the Lord's working, man. This is the Most High. It could have been any number. It could have been 136. It could have been 190. It could have been whatever number it could have been, but it just so happens to be, it would go from 1 to 0 ships waiting to dock. That means they used to get them in there and they dock and they unload them and get them on. To now, it's 144 ships at bay in the sea just waiting to dock. That's beautiful. It says the cargo on the ships currently at anchor in the California ports, which handle nearly half of all U.S. imports. So half of all the it's really just imports, because United States don't export. They don't export much. They don't ship out, distribute or materials. Like the United States don't generate or manufacture things to be shipped out to other countries to be sold. If there's other countries getting things from America, it's usually by air. It's like they'll fly things out, but they don't ship mass production, because that's what those cargoes do. They're mass production materials that are manufactured from companies that are shipped out. And so the United States is mainly an import. They're importing goods and products. But when they do, like, you might be someone in another country that may order something that from the United States, it'll get flown out. They don't do mass production for exporting. So it's an import in one of the largest in the earth, one of the largest places. All the other countries manufacture from their country over and import it into the United States for consumer sales. It says will likely not be seen till the end of October. I'm gonna start that again. The cargo on the ships currently at anchor in the California ports, which handles nearly half of all U.S. imports. So half the imports in the whole country comes into these two ports, Long Beach and Los Angeles, and then it gets logistics will transport, the transportation truckings will ship them to other states across the country. Will likely not be seen till the end of October or November. Brian Whitlock, a senior director analyst for Gartner, said on LinkedIn. The address, to address the record delayed, the Port of Long Beach missed this month to increase their hours of operation. So it moved this month to increase their hours of operation to 24 hours on Monday through Thursday. While the two ports in Los Angeles and Long Beach are often counted as one port due to their proximities, the slightly larger port of Los Angeles did not follow suit. choosing instead to maintain its existing hours that not that do not include the round the clock work. So basically, Long Beach, just to try to get a dent and try to get this rectified, they went from through Monday through Thursday a full time operation, 24 hours. So 24 hours, 4 days a week. While Los Angeles kept their same operating hours, they don't really care about getting this thing corrected. Cordero said Long Beach plans to use, and it was going to tell you why too. Cordero said Long Beach plans to use its extended hours as a pilot program towards 24/7 operations, much like many ports in Asia and Europe, but has been unable to do so thus far due to the shortage of workers across the industry, from dock workers to truckers and warehouse workers. This is why Los Angeles can't do that. Los Angeles is a lot bigger, is a bigger port, and it's a bigger city than Long Beach, and they don't have the manpower to move to that type of 24-hour, 4 days a week operation like Long Beach is attempting to do. The executive director of the Port of Los Angeles, Gene Soroka, told CNBC's Squawk Box on Tuesday that extending the port's hours of operation will do little to fix the issue. He said about 30% of the truck appointments go unused every day because the port needs full coordination with trucking companies and warehouse. So they can't even collaborate with the trucking companies to get the trucks in there to actually get them the product moved from the port to onto the trucks and onto the warehouse. They can't even collaborate that. They can't even coordinate that properly so that it can function in an effective way. So I said there's no reason to do that. We'll be working 24 hours on the clock, but we don't even have the manpower to execute the operation. It says we've had longshore workers on the job 6 days a week since the pandemic started, but it's truck drivers and warehouse workers that we need to bolster, Sirocco said. So basically saying we've just since the pandemic, not even with this crisis mode what they have at the LSC right now at the docks, but just since the pandemic, we've been working our workers 6 days a week, and we need the truckers. They need to bolster up the amount of workers for the warehouse and the truckers. It says the supply chain snarls having already created shortages and price hikes across the country. That's why you're starting to see prices increase on damn near everything. On Sunday, Nike said it doesn't have enough sneakers to sell for this holiday. So what does that mean? They're going to be charging more for the sneakers that they have due to the lack of production to sell more sneakers. So they won't have a drop off in this quarter sales. Because companies, they rate their year based off what they sell quarterly, and then they end the year with their holiday sales to see how their projections were for the revenues for the year. So if they don't have enough shoes to sell, if they don't want to lose in the if they don't want their pockets to be hit as a whole corporation, they have to hike up the prices. And remember, this is all nationwide because half like the article says, half the imports come in through this port, and it's supplied to majority of the half the country is supplied through that port. And I'm pretty sure somewhere maybe on the East Coast, whatever biggest port on the East Coast is covering the other half of the country. It says Nike said it doesn't have enough sneakers to sell for the holiday. Last week, Costco announced a limit on the amount of toilet paper and packages of water shoppers could purchase. Cordero told Fox business, he does not see consumers' demand tapering to the late next year as holiday demands as well as companies' effect to replenish inventory continues to strain. Remember that word strain. Continues to strain the global supply chain at a time when it is still combating COVID-19 shutdowns in Asia. So let's get into the scriptures. First scripture I want to get to is because this is moving right straight into the day of the Lord's wrath, man. This is Zephaniah 1 and 11. It says, "How, ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off." Now, back in the biblical times, Maktesh was your Wall Street, your commodities, your import export. Your exchanges of products, goods, and even services. So that would mean the same thing, in today's modern day. You have your Wall Street, you have your stock exchange, you have your Nasdaq, you have your Dow Jones and all your different commodity exchange. Then you actually have your import export. This is what helps. This is what grooms and modifies what happens in the global economy. And the United States just happens to be one of the biggest import export for products, goods, and services. And California itself happens to be, if I'm not mistaken, the seventh largest economy in the world. So a lot of the import exports that these ships can contain could very well, a lot of it is be set for here in the state of California. It says, "And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candlesticks and punish the men that are settled on their lees, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil." Because these prophecies are going to happen. People, they don't want to accept what's happening, because they've been told for many, many years that we're living in the last days. They don't want to believe that the quote unquote apocalypse, is going to happen in their lifetime. So they don't think that the good or evil that the Most High that's set forth to happen as prophecy is going to happen now, when it's happening right before their eyes. "Therefore their goods shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards, but not drink of the wine thereof. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasted greatly." Because these prophecies happen in abundance. "Even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty men shall cry there bitterly. The day of the Lord wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of trumpets and alarms against the fenced city and against the high towers," because there's not going to be any defense. When this thing kicks off, people are going to be invading, people are going to be looting, rioting, pillaging, plundering. It's going to be all anarchy, all out chaos, lawlessness. "And I will bring distress upon men, they that walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of them that dwell in the land." So the Most High is going to start. Anytime you look at an empire, they start to crumble monetarily first. They then their defense starts to break down. It starts with their economy, And this is what you're seeing now. All right, so this took place in the biblical time, but this is everything is reincarnated. So it's gonna happen again, and this giving you a description of what's going on right now in modern day. This is Isaiah 23:1. It says, "The burden of Tyre, how ye ships of Tarshish, for it is laid waste, so that there is no house, no entering in from the land of Shittim. It is revealed to them." So this going to give the exact description of what's going on right now in the article I just read. It says, "Be still, ye inhabitants of the isles, thou whom the merchant of Zidon that pass over the sea have replenished." So this is exactly what they're trying to do. Those ships, they come from another country. That's why it says the inhabitants of the isles, of whom the merchant of Zidon passed over the sea. They passed over the sea to what? To come replenish the products and goods. But they're at bay. They're idle. It says, "And by the great waters, the seed of Sihar, the harvest of the river, and her revenue, she is a mart of the nations." And America is. America is the largest import of products and services, or products and goods, not services, but products. This is the biggest revenue moneymaker for other nations. Other nations, they manufacture their products, and they distribute it out here to be imported to America. It says, "Be thou ashamed, O Zidon, for the sea has spoken, even the strength of the sea, saying, I travailed not, nor bring forth children, neither do I nourish up young men, nor bring up virgins. As the report concerning Egypt," America's modern day Egypt, "so shall they be sorely pained at the report of Tyre." And that's what's gonna happen. That's why the guy in the article was saying that he was saying, what? You better get your holiday shopping now, because this thing's about to be backed up. They're not gonna have you're not gonna be able to buy and shop during the holiday seasons. It says, pass ye over to Tarshish, how ye inhabitants of isles. Is this your joyous city? Is this America, whose antiquity is of ancient days? Her own feet shall carry her far off to sojourn. Who had taken this counsel against Tyre? The Most High. The crowning city, whose merchants are princes, whose traffickers are the honorable of the earth. Because everybody looks at America as, the home, the land of the free, the home of the brave, the American dream. So that's why everyone wants to, they migrate here, and then other countries send their import their the things that they want to sell and make money off to here. But it says who had taken counsel against Tyre? Like, who was doing this? It's the Most High. This is prophecy. It says the Lord of hosts had proposed it to stain the pride of all the glory. Didn't he say that in the article? Said in the article. That's why I said remember that word stain. It says to stain the pride of all the glory, and to bring into contempt all the honorable of the earth. And that's what the Most High is doing when it comes to America. He's breaking this country down. He's breaking this nation down. And other countries are going to see it more and more, because they're going to suffer more and more. The scriptures tell you in Obadiah, even the allies, they that of the Confederacy have laid a wound under thee. They're going to piss these other nations off that are in league with them. They're Confederates. They're allies. And that could be one reason that they're going to piss them off, is they're not going to be able to make revenues off of America selling their products. So this is all biblical prophecy. The Most High is crumbling this place economically right before everybody's eyes. So with that, I want to say all praise, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Harakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.